Hello everyone and welcome to Sunup. I'm Lyndall Stout. The West Nile virus has been detected in Oklahoma and one person has died according to state health officials. To learn more about prevention, we're joined by Dr. Gina Peek, who is head of Extension, Family and Consumer Sciences. And Gina, let's dive right in and talk about what people can do to keep their families and their property safe.
Yes, absolutely. There are many no-cost things that families can do to protect themselves. First of all, consider your property. You want to make sure that there are no places on your property where mosquitoes can lay eggs. So any kind of standing water that you have, obviously buckets, little kid swimming pools, things like that, but also be creative and look around, walk your property. Are there, for example, French drains that you need to maintain? Are there any kind of ruts that you could fill in with dirt? Again, think creatively, look around your property and eliminate any breeding grounds.
So what about things like on your home specifically, screens and other things to keep them from coming in?
Absolutely. So you, in addition to checking your property for any kind of places where mosquitoes would reproduce, you want to make sure that you're not letting them into your home. So check the screens, just like you said. Make sure that if you need to patch, you can get a simple patch and put it over there. A piece of tape will work as well. You can also make sure that you keep the screen doors shut to prevent them from coming inside. Making sure that any kind of other pest entry points are sealed up. And it could be simple as, putting something over to block mosquitoes from coming in.
And really all of this is just kind of a level of awareness that's really little or minimal cost.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is completely being aware. It's making sure that you're not letting mosquitoes into the home. And it's also making sure that you eliminate any kind of habitat where they can breed on your property.
So briefly, let's talk about bug spray and what folks need to keep in mind.
Okay, in terms of bug spray, the label is the law. So read the label and follow the instructions.
Okay, great short and sweet tip. And last but not least, there's an extension fact sheet that kind of covers the common mosquitoes in Oklahoma.
My colleague Justin Talley wrote a fact sheet about mosquitoes and it's available on the Extension website.
Great, we'll check it out. Thanks a lot, Gina. And for a link to the mosquito fact sheet, go to sunup.okstate.edu. And speaking of Dr. Talley, here he is talking about West Nile prevention in horses.
Yeah, when we think about mosquito-borne disease and West Nile virus particularly, sometimes we've got to think about not so much the amount of rain that's coming in, but the cyclical pattern of how these diseases interact with the mosquito and what we call the animal host. And in this case, our animal host that's important are horses. And so West Nile virus can be transmitted by mosquitoes, in particular what we call Culex mosquitoes. And why Culex mosquitoes are involved is because they tend to prefer to feed on birds. Birds are our what we call reservoir hosts, which means the virus is replicating inside that bird and that mosquito is feeding on that bird and then feeding on either humans or horses and can cause some issues when they start feeding on those. The thing about horses and humans is we're also a dead-end host. That means once the mosquito feeds and transmits the virus to either horses or humans, then the virus is not replicating at a high enough rate for them to serve as reservoirs. So essentially, once it's transmitted, the mosquito is not gonna, if you have other mosquitoes feed on horses, it's not gonna be able to transmit it to other horses. One particular thing we need to kind of think about is for horses, we have protection mechanisms, and one of those is our kind of a multitude of vaccines that we can give horses. And basically the premise of these is it allows the horse's immune system to do all the work. And once they are vaccinated, plus receive the timely booster in some of the vaccines, then they are usually fully protected from the transmission of West Nile virus, even if an infected mosquito feeds on them. So it's good to be on the lookout because even though it's getting hot and dry, these types of mosquitoes can develop in what we call these hidden water resources. So if you have water that's collecting in areas that may not necessarily be drained or get dumped out, then this mosquito will breed in it. And this particular type of mosquito can breed in what we call murky or dirty water. And so think of those areas that have that stagnant water, whether it's storm drains or any kind of culvert that's holding water that never drains away. Those are the areas we need to be concerned about where these mosquitoes are coming from.